So some exciting or potentially terrifying news, depending on who you are, has been dropped in the past week regarding Rocket League, and the news is basically that Epic Games has bought Psyonix and will be adding Rocket League to the Epic Games store. Now I think a lot of people, myself included, missed that first part of the story when we read it. People all over Twitter are asking what the big deal is, having Rocket League be sold in the Epic Games store. That just seems like just a positive thing, but it's actually way more than that. Epic Games has actually acquired Psyonix, or they're in the process of acquiring Psyonix, which is somewhat unprecedented in recent years to have a massive company like Epic just buy another top 15 game or whatever Rocket League is. I mean, I'm sure Epic wants to invest in all these other games that are making so much money, but they can't just go buy like Apex Legends from EA Sports. And if you look at a lot of the big games, like any of the top 10 esports, a lot of them are owned by huge companies, but then there's Rocket League, which is a big esport, but it's owned by this small, at least relatively small indie company. But what does this mean for the future of Rocket League and for its players and for its community? What changes could we see in the coming years as Rocket League goes under the banner of Epic? And what does this mean for us as players? Well, first I should say that I actually made a video sort of jokingly asking the question, what if Epic Games owned Rocket League? And it's really crazy to actually see that happening now. Like at that time I was just joking. And if you want to go see the video, I mean, it's exceptionally stupid, but you might enjoy it. And none of those things will probably happen. It's also pretty funny that video, which was getting like 20 views a day, is now getting a bunch of views because this is trending. Anyways, here are some of the positive things that may be coming from this acquisition. If you're interested in seeing or joining in on the conversation, maybe seeing some of the things that people are worried about as well, check out this tweet and all the threads that are related to it. And also feel free to give your opinion in the comments below. Is this exciting for you? What are you concerned about? What are your thoughts? Just let us know down below. All right, number 10 is the possibility of Rocket League having weekly or at least more frequent updates. Now this could come with less bugs and faster bug fixes in general when an update is put out. Why, you might ask? Well, there's one simple answer, and it's not only the answer to everything in this entire video, but it's basically the answer to, I guess, every problem in life. Money. Money means the ability to hire more people to fix these kinds of problems to keep players happy. Now, what actually goes into these weekly or just more regular updates? Who knows? And who knows if this will even happen? I mean, it's just possible now. Basically, in making this list, I sat down and thought of all the things that money could buy for the development of this game. And more regular updates and, faster fixes for bugs is definitely a possibility. Number 9 on my list is a potential item shop. Now, Psyonix already showed what this could look like with the esports shop, but why not have a full-blown shop where people could buy new and old limited time items, wheels, decals, cars? I mean, they've shown that they can basically do that with the esports shop. Now, I'll get into this a bit more later, but this is possible, especially if Rocket League goes fully over to the Epic Games store and to that client. Some of these things get confusing with having an in-game currency and with Steam. I don't really know everything about that, but I know Steam limits you in some ways. They're saying Rocket League isn't leaving Steam, and I don't believe that it is anytime soon, but I don't see how it could just continue to fully operate on both platforms forever. Like, that just wouldn't make sense. The two platforms just run so differently, and certain things would conflict with the two clients and with the two platforms, but I don't know, we'll see. An item shop is definitely possible though. Number 8 on my list is server support. Again, more money means more support, and servers is one of those areas that Rocket League needs more support. We all know this. I hope Epic Games does too. More servers, better servers, whatever that entails. Sometimes the answer isn't just more servers, but yeah, it will definitely be possible with Epic Games owning Rocket League to invest more money in this area. Now, we should note that just because Epic Games can dump tons of money into Rocket League, that doesn't mean that they will, at least at first. I doubt we're going to see that kind of investment at first, I think Fortnite is still their primary investment because it's still their primary moneymaker. But slowly, I do think that they'll be able to address these kinds of issues better than Psyonix ever could, just because Psyonix as a company was just a fraction of the size of Epic. All right, number 7 could be pretty awesome for content creators like myself, but we could now have the potential for creator codes through the Epic Games store. So having Rocket League run on this platform just opens up these possibilities in ways that weren't possible through Steam. Rocket League streamers have also long discussed having in-stream drops like RLCS has. I mean, that could be a possibility, but creator codes would honestly be so amazing for content creators and for players alike, like big content creators, small content creators. Yeah, code FLuuMP incoming, guys. Or just go to Spuda's code. That's a good one too. Number 6, Rocket League Mobile. Okay, this one is a stretch, I know, and I'm not just trying to say, what if Rocket League was ran just like Fortnite? I don't think that's what's gonna happen, and that's sort of the joke of my video that I made a while ago. I don't think Epic Games is just gonna make Rocket League exactly like Fortnite. But regardless, every game has to be looking at mobile as a possibility. Now, I know some of you would hate this, and there are potential complications with having mobile, but I do think Rocket League on mobile would be amazing if it worked well. And we all know that Epic could just like whip out a mobile version of this game in like 3 weeks, easy. It's possible. Rocket League on mobile would be so fun if it was done right. Number 5, more content. Now this goes along with the idea of having more regular updates to the game. With that could come more content and potentially new and different content that Psyonix maybe just couldn't produce in-house. I personally don't think the style of content will change. There's just more potential for the designers to do more, as they could maybe have bigger teams and more people working on projects. Now I hope Epic Games does keep these people on board, because the teams that Psyonix have, like at least the people that I met, are unbelievably talented and so good at what they do. And I'm sure Epic Games is going to just sort of build on that base that Psyonix already has for people who are working there. At least I hope that's what they do. So it might not mean necessarily totally different content in terms of style and stuff like that. It'll just mean more support to be able to do more of the kind of things that we already love that Psyonix is putting out. Number 4, and this one is a must for me, a creative mode in Rocket League where players can build their own custom maps. Basically all the stuff that Lethamir's been doing and others, just now you won't have to know how to code to do it. This would be amazing for the game and for expanding the player base. Rocket League needs more new fun game modes and maps, both for players and for content creators. This would be one of those things that would take Rocket League to the next level as a game, in that it would be the thing that brings in more casual players, which is what you need. You need to be able to bring in the casual players who then turn into hardcore players. Number 3, updated custom training. Now this one's a bit random. It's just something that I would love to see, and it stems from an old post on the Rocket League subreddit. Now I talked about this a long time ago, and it just hasn't happened, partially I think because it would be a big update to the existing system and it would be a ton of work. Custom training is by far one of the best things that was added to Rocket League in the past few years. Updating it and giving players more options would be massive, and maybe it would be possible with Epic. Number 2 on my list relates to esports. Basically, again, more money means more exposure and appeal for esports orgs. Bigger prize pools means more attention from gamers worldwide, more money to host international tournaments, just basically more exposure to more people. That's what esports need. Now the potential for Rocket League as an esport is already amazing, but it just isn't growing at the rate that it could be. It could be huge. It's just so good. I love it so much, but it's not really taking off the way that it could. If Epic Games can invest into RLCS and Rocket League esports as a whole, we could finally get orgs like FaZe and Liquid and others involved, bigger salaries for players. It would be so good for the community. Imagine having RLCS having like 30,000 people attending and like 1 million watching online. Hell yeah. All right, last but certainly not least, Rocket League could potentially adopt the free-to-play model, including things like an item shop with creator codes available and weekly updates. Like all of this, all the stuff we talked about above, just sort of ride on whether or not Rocket League goes free to play, which I really do believe it eventually will. It just makes sense. If you've followed my content, you've heard me and others talk about this, but this is the thing that made Rocket League blow up in the first place. It was free on PlayStation 4 Plus, and that's literally how it blew up. And if we want it to become a top tier title and a top tier esport, this is what has to happen. All of the big games and all of the big esports are free to play. So under Epic Games, all of this becomes possible. They could do it in an instant. They could make this game free to play so quick, and it would be so much easier for them than it could have ever been for Psyonix, because it is a lot of work. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm excited about this. I think this is awesome. And as scary and potentially confusing as it may be, these are exciting times for Rocket League. I really don't think Epic is going to ruin the game by nerfing stuff. If they nerf the flip reset after I've just mastered it, I swear I'll flip reset them. But that's not going to happen, especially if you speak out and help them know that you and I love this game more than most people could ever understand. Soccer is more than just a business acquisition. For some of us, it's the first thing that we've ever really worked hard at, which is kind of sad. For many of us, it's our first video game. We just weren't good at shooter games, so we took on Rocket League. We love this game in this community, and honestly, I can't wait to see it grow like crazy in the next few years. Again, let us know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Hopefully Epic loves to hear from you as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.